What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into the channel. It is day 2 of Green Bay Packers training camp, so you know what that means. We have some highlights from today's practice to break down and react to. And if you're a new viewer to this channel and haven't subscribed yet, I definitely would, because every single time the Packers practice during training camp, I will be posting videos such as this, the highlights from the practice, and then also a recap, which will go up right after this video once practice ends. So be on the lookout for both videos every single day the Packers are practicing, plus any other Packers news that happens. You'll find it all right here on this channel, so definitely go down, click subscribe, like the video, and turn on post notifications. All right, so let's waste no more time. You guys know the drill. Bring up the highlight screen and get this thing started. We're going to start, obviously, with Jordan Love throwing the football, just as I did yesterday, because nothing has changed. The eyes are still all on Jordan Love, throwing a nice post there to Christian Watson. Then he's going to throw a nice out route here to Malik Heath right on the pylon. Jordan Love looks a lot better throwing the football than when I saw him year 1. Now, of course, a lot more eyes are on him, and we're seeing more clips of him, so, you know, we're analyzing that more. There was a pass to Cody Crest, their new wide receiver signing, but he definitely looks a lot better. His drop back, his release, throwing motion, and the spiral on the ball. I know yesterday he struggled with some deep balls, and it was windy, but Matt LaFleur pretty much joked and said, oh, was it windy? And that he should have put some more air under some of those balls, which is definitely true. But like I said, I think Jordan Love just looks a lot better in year 3, and I'm super excited to finally see him as quarterback 1 of the Green Bay Packers and how that will look when the pads come on in a real game against real defenses, because we haven't seen that too much. So this is just practice. Obviously, you can't take too much out of it, and you can't overreact on too much. But he does look really nice. The throwing motion, nice tight spiral. He can really rip the ball when he wants to, and that's on showcase here for sure. Here's a clip of Christian Watson running a deep out route. Nice drop of his hips at the top of the route there. Nice throw by Jordan Love. Same thing here with Romeo Doubs. Super nice rocker step there with the drop of the hips. I'm hype on Romeo Doubs. You know, going into this offseason, I was kind of saying, you know, no matter what, Christian Watson's that wide receiver 1. But the more I look at it and the more that camp goes on, Romeo Doubs may get more targets than Christian Watson, just based on the type of wide receiver he is. Kind of a possession guy. Jordan Love may be looking his way a lot on short yarded situations, whereas Christian Watson can do that as well, but he's more of that deep threat vertical type of guy who might not get as many targets in a game as, say, Romeo Doubs. So at the end of the year, you know, Romeo Doubs may well be the Packers' #1 wide receiver in terms of targets. Here's another clip of both Watson and Doubs running overlaying dig routes here, and man, Doubs just looks super shifty at the top of the route. He does a great job getting in and out of his break, dropping his hips at the right time and bursting through the top of that route. Really nice dig route by him, and on the top of the screen by Christian Watson. A little bit rounded, but nonetheless still 2 good dig routes by both these receivers. More clips of Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Can't say I'm mad at that. You can see this nice one-handed catch in the back of the end zone by Christian Watson. I know a lot of people were like, where's the Watson clips yesterday? Well, this should be enough for you. Really nice one-handed snag by Watson. Made that look seamless in the back of the end zone. That was not an easy catch either. I mean, that dude's 6'5", so that ball was pretty high up, and Watson just made light work of catching that ball with one hand. I know he kind of had some drop issues in yesterday's practice, but I'm not worried about that. Clearly, he has good hands. A lot of his are just concentration drops, so don't really have to worry about that. I think that'll get fixed, but super hype for these 2 wide receivers. I know our wide receiver room is so young, but I feel like both these guys are going to take a nice year 2 jump. All right, last one of Romeo Doubs. I know we've been talking about him for a few minutes here. Running a nice fade route. Would like to see that a little bit higher and to the outside on that throw. Definitely going to have to get that down for red zone situations. I'm not a huge fan of the fade route in general. I just feel like there's a lot better things you could run, but nonetheless, we know the Packers like to run that a lot, and with a fade route, you kind of want to go back shoulder and high to where only your wide receiver can get it. I feel like if there's a good DB in this situation, that ball would have been batted away. So you'd like to see Jordan Love more so put that toward the outside of the end zone there and high and outside shoulder. Here's a video of another receiver we haven't seen a lot of during camp. Jadakiss Bonds here, the 6'3" wide receiver out of Hampton University. They signed him, I think, like a month ago or something. Definitely has some good vertical there. Looks like the type of guy you would want to throw a fade route to. We'll see what kind of action he gets during training camp. I kind of see him as max as like a practice squad type of wide receiver. I just feel like there's a lot of other wide receivers on the roster, such as Bo Melton, Grant DuBose, even Malik Heath, that have a better chance of making the 53. But, you know, if this guy guy shows his capabilities, could definitely become a practice squad wide receiver for the Packers, and that's worked really well in the past for some guys, you know, down the line to even make the roster. So we'll see what he has there in camp, but looks really good here on this fade route. Nice throw by Alex Magoo there. So I actually have a couple clips during 11 versus 11 team portions. Thank you to Big B. I'm sure you guys know who he is. You're not supposed to record this stuff, so big shout out. Mark Murphy's going to be knocking on your door, Big B. I'm gonna show it here anyways. So we have Jordan Love throwing a post out of the slot to Jaden Reed here over Devondre Campbell. Really nice thrown ball by Jordan Love out of this empty set. Nice protection by the line. Nice climb of the pocket. Really nice behind the shoulder catch by Jaden Reed for a touchdown there, and the celebration in the back of the end zone. So Jaden Reed playing out of the slot there, and Jordan Love, you know, finding him in a tight window over the middle for a touchdown. Here's another awesome Jaden Reed play, a trick play, a end around, and this just showcases what Jaden Reed can give to this offense. Super fast. You know, he can be your motion guy, can play outside, can play inside. I mean, he's a lot faster than a lot of people think. A lot of people saw that 40 and went, oh, that guy's not fast, but he was clocked in as a 4.37 by the Packers Scott, John Eric Sullivan. So he definitely has a lot of speed, and I think he will be their jet motion, end around, reverse type of guy. They'll still do it with Christian Watson, of course, because we saw how he can do that. But Jaden Reed's going to offer another level of versatility on that offense, and I think he's starting day one at slot. So super excited for him. Again, thank you, Big B, for recording these. Be careful, just saying. But I can't thank you enough. This is awesome to see clips like this. I always see other teams doing it, posting clips, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could see the Packers 11v11s. You're not supposed to, but hey, we have them, so want to show you guys as well. Here we have a clip of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon getting low on this running back drill. Man, Aaron Jones just has such fast cuts. Like, I wouldn't want to be tasked with tackling Aaron Jones. Neither would I with A.J. Dillon. I feel like that would just be a horrible experience. But I just don't think I would even get a hand on Aaron Jones, whereas A.J. Dillon, I think, would just straight up run through you. But even A.J. Dillon, very shifty for, I think, his 254 frame or something like that. But, man, Aaron Jones is wild because he's so light, but he still breaks so many tackles. Like, that dude's yards after the contact is insane. And you can see both of these guys just why they're premier running backs in the NFL. Now we have some defensive clips, and we're going to start with Lucas Van Ness here, again doing a strip drill against some of the other linebackers. I know Van Ness hasn't got a start with the ones yet in training camp. Yesterday it was Hollins, and today it was Enagbare. I'm willing to bet tomorrow will be Van Ness. I feel like the Packers are just going to be rotating these guys all of training camp, and Van Ness definitely needs the reps. I've talked about him so much, how I feel like it'll be best if Van Ness kind of gets forged by fire, and I think he will have to be thrown right into the mix with Rashawn Gary being questionable for when he will return. Van Ness, I think, will get plenty of snaps week one. I've said it time and time again. So, you know, he's going to have to get the snaps, get the work, and of course, when the pads come on, you know, learn the defense, be in the right positions as well. Here's another clip of Lucas Van Ness, and I've said this time and time again as well. His burst off the ball is like none other. When I watch his tape at Iowa, you know, just the dude right when the ball snapped, he's off the line, full force, you know, exploding from his back legs, staying low, low man wins, and he gets his hands on the lineman super, super fast. That's exactly where Lucas Van Ness wins. So it's nice to see him doing this drill, and I think he's really good at it. And I can't, like I said, I can't wait for the pads to come on and see him do it in real time against, you know, offensive linemen with pads. Someone like Zach Tom or Elton Jenkins, allow him to go against him and see what he can do. Here's the same drill, but with Justin Hollins. So you can tell the difference. Like Lucas Van Ness off that ball, it seems like he just was shot out of a cannon. Where Justin Hollins, it kind of seems like he's a little slow there. So Justin Hollins isn't going to like wow you with athleticism or anything. He's not the fastest dude, not the strongest dude, but what he does really well is know the scheme. He's in the right place in the right time a lot. Last year during the run game, in the pass game, he was always where they want him to be. And that's why I believe he's a roster lock, and that's why I think he'll start week one at edge opposite Preston Smith. Here's a clip of undrafted free agent Brenton Cox Jr. from Florida doing the same strip drill we saw Lucas Van Ness do. My pick for the undrafted free agent that's going to end up making the roster. I feel like right now he's definitely edge 5, and that's not including Rashawn Gary, assuming he's not going to be included on the 53-man roster to begin. But even if he is, the Packers could still very well keep 6 edges with Brenton Cox Jr. You know, they usually keep 5, so I think going into the season, this is a guy that can definitely make the 53-man roster as long as he keeps his head in the game. This dude has all the potential in the world, like so much potential. So I'm super excited to see him when the pads come on, because watching this dude's film, I mean, he has a lot of it, like a lot of good film at Florida, where you're looking at this guy and you're going, how in the world did he not get drafted in like rounds 2 or 3? And obviously it's because of all the off the field issues, but I'm super interested to see how this training camp goes and if he can keep his head in the game for sure. Here we have a clip of both Carrington Valentine and Corey Ballantyne. I just love that both of those names are so similar. Valentine switched from number 41 to 37 there, doing some backpedaling cornerback drills. I feel like these guys are corners 4 and 5. Now that doesn't include Eric Stokes, but once he comes back, they're still cornerbacks 5 and 6, and the Packers are likely to keep 5 or 6 cornerbacks. Right now, these are the two guys I 100% see making the roster. Corey Ballantyne offers a lot on special teams. He did last year, and he's been doing really well in practice so far. And Carrington Valentine as well looks very promising. 7th round rookie out of Kentucky. I feel like that guy offers, you know, some potential at outside cornerback, and will showcase his skills on special teams as well. I see both these guys making the roster. Here's another clip of Corey Ballantyne running a man coverage drill, pretty much just watching the hips of, I think that's Innis Gaines there, and then a nice one-handed snag, real late hands there, turning of the body. Like I said, Corey Ballantyne, I feel like is very underrated. I feel like this guy, you know, offers a lot. He's very fast. He offered a lot on special teams last year, and I think he can definitely play cornerback on defense if you need him to. So it's going to be very important for him to be able to step up early if Eric Stokes isn't ready to go, because he'll be that 4th guy after, you know, Jair, Rasul, and Keyshawn Nixon. If the Packers want to run 4 DBs and run dime and have them all cornerbacks, I think the next man up is going to be Corey Ballantyne week 1, week 2, whatever, until Eric Stokes comes back. So, you know, good to see him getting in some work here. But that does it for all the clips I have from day 2 of Packers training camp. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like down below so I know to keep making these videos. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.